Species and niche concept. We begin with the species concept. In biology, a species is commonly defined using the biological species concept. This concept describes a species as a group of organisms that can interbreed and produce fertile offspring under natural conditions. This is the most widely used definition because it ties species boundaries to reproductive compatibility. It helps us understand how populations form distinct biological units in nature. As we move deeper into ecological communities, we start measuring how many species are present. This brings us to species richness. Species richness is simply the total number of different species found in a particular habitat or location. It's a numerical count, but it gives valuable insight into the complexity of an ecosystem. Generally, habitats with higher species richness tend to show greater ecological stability. A wide variety of species means a broader range of ecological roles, which strengthens overall balance. However, richness alone doesn't tell the full story. To understand how balanced a community is, we look at species evenness. Evenness describes how individuals are distributed among the species present. If every species in a community has roughly the same number of individuals, then evenness is high. But if one species dominates while others are scarce, then evenness is low. This distinction matters because a community with high richness but low evenness can still be vulnerable to disturbance. Evenness gives us the texture behind the numbers. Now, when richness and evenness are considered together, we get species diversity. Species diversity captures both how many species exist and how well represented they are. It is a key indicator of the health and resilience of an ecosystem. A highly diverse community is usually better equipped to withstand environmental changes because no single species carries the entire burden of ecosystem function. Ecologists use several indices, like the Shannon-Weiner or Simpson Index, to quantify this diversity in a precise way. Understanding diversity naturally guides us to the ecological niche concept. A niche describes not only where an organism lives, but also how it interacts with both the physical environment and other species. It includes its role, its resource use, and its environmental conditions. You can think of a niche as an organism's professional identity within an ecosystem, its responsibilities, requirements, and ecological contributions. Ecologists make an important distinction between two types of niches, the realized niche and the fundamental niche. The realized niche is the niche a species actually occupies in nature. It reflects competition, predation, and other biotic pressures that restrict the species from using its full potential range. In contrast, the fundamental niche represents all environmental conditions a species could theoretically occupy if it faced no competition or limitations. This contrast reminds us that ecosystems are shaped not just by opportunities, but also by constraints. Competition plays a key role in defining niches. The competitive exclusion principle states that two species competing for the exact same limited resources cannot stably coexist. If their niches overlap completely, one species eventually outcompetes the other. Over time, species may avoid this outcome through niche differentiation, using slightly different resources, occupying different microhabitats, or being active at different times. These adjustments reduce direct competition and allow coexistence. While perfect competitive exclusion is rare in nature, the principle helps explain how species divide resources to maintain ecological balance. Now let's connect niche to habitat. A habitat is the natural environment where a species lives. It provides the food, water, shelter, and conditions required for survival and reproduction. Every species has specific habitat requirements: temperature ranges, moisture levels, vegetation types. Some species can tolerate a wide range of habitats, while others survive only in very specialized conditions. If the niche describes how a species functions, the habitat describes where that functioning takes place. As we wrap up, the picture becomes clearer. Species form the building blocks of communities. Richness and evenness shape diversity, niches explain ecological roles, and habitats provide the physical spaces where these roles play out. Together, these concepts form the foundation for understanding how ecosystems are structured and how species coexist.